What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Venomcast. It's your boy, John K., the one and only, Mr. One of a Kind, right here. We are in the fictitious Fago recording studio. Have a great guest lined up for you guys today. It's been a while. Hope you all have been doing well. There's been a lot of awesome racing. I can't wait to talk about. The season is just, it's been crazy. It's been fast. Everybody stepped their game up, and we're getting to the late stages, and battles are starting to form everywhere. We're going to bring in a special guest here momentarily. He is the man leading the points championship right now on the team that leads in the team points championship, the one and only Mr. Ryan Dye. Hello, Ryan, and you're going to have to turn your camera back on, by the way. I forgot to tell you that.
I know.
What's up, dude?
Okay.
How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I am doing well. So, as I kind of alluded to, this man right here, driver of the 15, is the points leader. He has been on a tear this year. I don't even know if a tear really describes it. You have been immaculate, sir. A two-time race winner in his career. But this season alone, 1 win at Kentucky, 7 top 5s, which is bonkers. 9 top 10s, that's every race this year. 5 second place finishes, and 3 straight top 2 finishes to start the year at Milwaukee, IRP, and Kentucky, right? Kentucky was the 3rd race of the year?
Yep.
I mean, that's crazy. And I mean, it's not a surprise to be sitting here saying I believe it's week 10 now, that you're leading the championship by 54 points over Andy Politsky. And Andy has been good this year, but a little inconsistent at times, and you've just been Mr. Consistent all year long.
Oh yeah, I've been consistent for sure. I would like to have a few more wins. The 5 second place finishes is it's okay. But you like to win more, right? You always want to win more. No, it's been fun. It's been a good year. When your worst finish is 6th, then I don't know. I can't complain over anything, right? So it's been fun. I wish I could have had this, last year or maybe the season 1. I don't know, but it's fun. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
also pressure filled too, because now I feel like if I finish worse than 6, it's just a bad day.
Yeah, and I think you've done a great job with the pressure. I mean, I feel like watching some of the streams back last year, whenever it was getting a little hectic, Ryan's like, oh, I don't really know what to do. And this year, being a part of your team, well, kinda. I drive for Superkick, which is owned by.
I mean, you're part of the team.
I'm basically a part of the team, but it's really cool to just hear how calm you are in a lot of the situations. Like IRP, you're racing for a win. I'm just sucking, and you're telling me to stay calm, and you're the one racing for a win. I mean, it's been an awesome transformation, and I think that's a huge part of why you're leading the championship. You don't get rattled by anything, and you're just driving your own race.
I'm definitely doing better at it. But do not go watch IRP, please. Yeah, I had a bad moment.
yeah.
Bad moment. I miss pit road.
Yeah, somebody may have screwed you out of a win there. We're not going to name names or anything, but
I wonder who it could be. Oh.
You looking at me? It definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I feel like in season 1, I couldn't stop speeding on pit road. I know you weren't here for that season, but I think I had like 6 black flags in season 1, like 4 speedings. Yeah, I had a missed pit entrance once, like came in halfway through the grass, leaving Darlington in like a top 5. The track is 8,000 feet that way, and the blue line is not way over there, so I went over the line. So there was a black flag. Phoenix, I was leading, black flag. So, yeah. So from all that, and then season 2, I just kept getting in other people's accidents. But I think both of those, going through all the black flags and going through all the wrecks and stuff, it's helped me this year realize that even when, like at Bristol last week, getting spun out twice, you can still come back and finish 4th. Just don't panic and get back at it.
Yeah, and I mean, you rebounded well from the end of IRP, all the stuff that kind of happened there, to winning at Kentucky, which I think we talked about on the very last episode that we recorded about a month and a half ago. Um, and then iRacing Super Speedway, we had some strategy that didn't work out. We got a little disconnected as a team. I ended up on my roof because pit road there sucks and I hate that track. But all in all, I mean, I think you still finished well in
6th.
that race, which is, again, it's crazy to think about all the adversity you guys fought through, being 18 seconds behind, I believe, something behind that huge pack.
Yeah, Garrett and I were a long, long way away.
Yeah, and then to finish sixth, it's just awesome. I mean, it's the same kind of deal that Nathan had last season, where he'd get into trouble, but he'd just keep putzing around and get the damage fixed and keep his nose to the grindstone. After iRacing Super Speedway, we went to Auto Club, which Auto Club was kind of a interesting race. A lot of split strategy, a lot of people going for the one stop, the rest of us going for the two stop. I think you went two stop. I went two
I went
stop.
to. I went to. I didn't think a one stop was it.
Right. Looking but hindsight being 2020, it definitely makes sense why it worked. I mean, it made sense right after the race why it worked. That track being so big, and the fall off really I didn't think was too bad tire wise.
Well, I think once you got to there was like a shelf. I mean, you fell off like a second and a half, but then you could run for 50 laps and never really fall off that shelf. So
Right.
I realized it in our team chat almost as soon as I pit. I went, that wasn't smart. As soon as they started going out and realizing that they could make it on fuel. That fuel was my bigger worry. Um, yeah, I knew the tires would make it, and that you were gonna lose some time and all that stuff. But I just didn't know that you had enough fuel. So once I saw that 3 or 4 guys stayed out and they were gonna make it, it was pretty immediate of going, well, let's just salvage a top 10 and see what happens.
And you did that beautifully again. I mean, a top, sixth place finish, as you said, that's not too shabby when a bad race for you is a sixth place finish. Also, shout out Michael Crawl, second place at Auto Club. That dude has been. We're gonna talk about it, but he's been on fire this year. And Carson Mitchell picking up his first career win at iRacing Super Speedway. That's awesome. Carson is fast, a little reckless at times, but he's extremely fast. But He's gotten so much better from season 2, when I was his teammate, also, to now season 3. I mean, his improvement has been incredible too. He still has his moments, but he's gotten a lot better.
The kid's fast, and that's if you can't say anything else about him, you can say that he's fast.
Yeah.
He's learning. He's a kid, right? I mean, he's not even 18 yet. He can't buy a lottery ticket yet. But, but man, when he puts it together, he's tough to beat. I'm sure we'll talk about it in a second. But the Motegi Oval, he just beat me.
Yeah.
And I gave him every single thing I had to try to get by him, and he played it perfect. So I mean, he's gonna have times where he's reckless and he's gonna wreck and go down in flames and all that stuff. But it's gonna make up for it when it all clicks and he wins 2 races this season.
Yeah, and iRacing Super Speedway was one of those races where, even though it's a super speedway and anything can happen, the move he made to get into the lead, getting below Chad Stearns. I mean, Stearns left that much of a gap, and Carson's just got in there. I mean, that it was impressive to watch. I was obviously already wrecked. Already wrecked out.
I
we
didn't
had
see the move until long after the race. I
we
couldn't even see them; they were so far away.
we had some issues getting on pit road. But yeah, Auto Club. Andy Politsky picks up a win, his second of the year after winning the opener at Milwaukee. I mean, again, strategy was huge. Him, Michael Crawl, Kyle Zittel, Michael Dean, and Chad Streeter all with top fives. You, I believe, being the only person, or yeah, you were the first person on the two stop, so you finished sixth. Heck of an effort to just hang in there. Once we realized we made our beds and we had to lay in them, and hopefully we just had enough speed to catch them.
Yeah, yeah, that just I wanted a top 10, right? My goal this season, I had 3 goals. I wanted to win Bristol Dirt, which we'll talk about in a minute. I wanted 0x for the entire season. It was good for a while, and
Bristol,
then
and then Bristol Bear happened.
we'll talk about it in a minute. And then my third one, the bigger one, was I wanted 13 top tens because I feel like if you can get 13 top tens, it's gonna be tough to beat you for a championship. So taking the bad days, taking iRacing where you're 20 seconds behind the leaders and there's not a yellow at a super speedway, which is bonkers, and finishing sixth, or being Auto Club, picking the wrong strategy and still getting a sixth place finish. It's those little things that add up, right, at the end of the year. Taking a day that you didn't make the right call or things didn't quite go the right way and capitalizing.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, after the first 2 weeks, Milwaukee and IRP, where there was about a combined 40 cautions. That's what it felt like. Kentucky goes green the whole way. We have a green white checker. There's a late wreck, 2 late wrecks, and but we end up having a green white checker there. But then iRacing Super Speedway, and this is a testament to all the guys, every single one of them. We go caution free to Super Speedway, and not just any Super Speedway. One of the sketchiest Super Speedways. I mean, you thought Daytona and Talladega were bad. Mash those two together, take the restrictor plate off, and you've got iRacing Super Speedway. It's freaking terrifying. But no
It's my
cautions.
favorite super speedway.
I hate that place.
I love it.
No cautions there. No cautions at Auto Club. Although there could have arguably been one. Sorry again, Paul and Garrett.
There probably could have been two at iRacing, if we're being honest. I mean, you were on your lid at one point.
I was on my lid in the middle of the track. We're not going to talk about it. Motegi Oval, again, same thing. I believe goes green the whole way up until a green-white checker at the end.
I think there were like 6 to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We went green. We went green with 3 laps left or something like that. 4 laps.
That was awesome. Again, the stretch we had with minimal cautions, I think, is incredible, and I'm glad you brought that up because, I mean, that shout out to all the guys in the league, every single one of them. That's on everybody, and I mean, that's awesome. I don't think we had a stretch like that in season 2, but
no,
that's crazy.
Season 1, the first 2 races were caution free. So there's that part of it. But there were a couple caution-free races in Season 1. Season 2 was just, we had bigger fields, way bigger than most of us were used to. And you're going to have yellows when you have 30 trucks out there.
Right.
But this year, I mean, we're racing with 20, 25 trucks out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you go caution-free now at so many races.
Right up until the end, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, even you just take the ones that are just straight up caution-free. iRacing was caution-free. The Motegi Road Course is caution-free. Texas goes caution-free. Auto Club goes caution-free. So, I mean, you got guys that are paying more attention, I feel like. A little bit more give and take throughout the field, I've noticed. Especially up front. This season, I haven't really been back in the back to tell you how it is back there yet. But
yeah, well, there's some give and take back there.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the replays after the race, and you can definitely see it.
It's been awesome, and I think the part that's most enjoyable is we're not racing, we're racing hard, too, while doing all this, which just goes to show that you can give and take and still race hard, and make things happen. So moving on, as we kind of touched on, Twin Ring Motegi Oval. I forgot to shout out the sponsors of the other 2 races. I literally wrote them down to do that. Still forgot. Dropping the ball.
Okay.
iRacing Super Speedway was the World 65. And Auto Club was the CrownAwards.com 75 laps around the 2-miler. And then Twin Ring Motegi Oval. Yay! Not a fan of that track, by the way. I'm sure I would have been, but there's just some stuff that it got kind of messy. I just sucked too. That didn't help. But John K's birthday takes over Japan 140. That's me. Hi, it was my birthday week.
Hi.
Hi, I'm John K. And we decided to race 2 races in the same night, which, I mean, this guy over here, that guy right there.
Me.
Yeah, him. How about second place in both races?
Boy, if only could have been first place in both races.
Well,
That was fun.
you and Carson duked it out at the end of the oval on a green white checker. I think McKinnon spun out or got spun out, spun somebody out.
I
I
think he
know.
got spun out.
Yeah. That track was tough on worn tires. And the setup was about a 19 out of 10 loose for me. And
I loved
again,
it. I loved
I
it.
well, yeah. So there was a lot. Mister Championship points leader over here wasn't even supposed to be there. And then what does he do? He signs into the thing, into the session, and we're like, "How's Ryan doing this? He must be on a laptop or something." And then he comes in and runs, a tenth faster than the rest of the field in qualifying. And he goes, "Did you guys really think I was gonna miss this?"
Yeah.
Had
So yeah, I think the only person in the league that knew I was going to race that night was Nathan. Um, yeah, I had that plan for a while. I knew that I wasn't going to miss the race from the beginning, but I had fun sowing that seed of doubt into everybody else's brain that, oh man, Ryan's going to miss 2 races and it's going to take him out of a championship and this and that. And then I did all my practice on my own. I didn't show up in the lobby. So yeah, as soon as the clock hit 7:59, I clicked the join button, knowing that I would get in there. Practice would have just started, or qualifying would have just started. Went there and laid down the
burner.
fastest lap I had ever run,
Yeah,
even in practice. I had never run that fast, so
that was a burner.
fun. That's my first ever non-dirt pole.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, pole winner. I forgot about that. I mean, I didn't forget about it, but I forgot to write it down.
Yeah.
43 laps led. Carson led 39. I mean, you guys just duked it out at the end there on the green white checker, and you talk about he's gonna have his moments where it all clicks, and he ran the perfect lap to beat you.
I mean, I was a nose inside of him, coming off of 4, taking the white flag, and he did what he had to do. He ran me all the way down to the wall. Didn't wreck me, but he made it to where my entry into turn 1 was way too shallow, and I knew going in there I didn't think it was gonna stick. Um, I probably could have used him. 8 tires is better than 4, but that's just not how I drive. So I kept it off of him. At the end of the day, when you're racing for the big trophy at the end of the season, a second place is fine. So yeah, I mean, I gave him everything I had, but I'm not going to wreck either one of us for a win. So yeah, he drove the perfect lap. He could not have driven it any better.
You're smarter than I am. I probably would have wrecked us both and half the field. And hey, man, it happens. But yeah, Carson. We talked about he has his moments where he's just so strong, and that was one of those races. You and him dominated it. I mean, just great, great race. Great.
It was fun. I really do feel like whoever was in the lead, and he short pit me by about 6 laps, which blew my mind. I thought for sure that my tires would make a difference at the end, and I was catching him, but I wasn't going to catch him before that yellow. But I really do feel like whoever between he and I had the lead on the last restart was going to win. Uh, you, I don't think that either one of us were really going to be passed.
Yeah.
So if I was going to lose to somebody at that race, at least it's the guy that was every bit as fast as I was the whole race.
Couldn't have been the birthday kid. Yeah. No big deal.
Well, I mean,
I'm
it
just
could have
I'm
been.
just I couldn't have beat a cardboard box that race if I'm being honest. It was bad. And the other thing is Motegi was our special event, one of our many special events for the year. We've got 2 cool ones to talk about, but instead of an endurance race this year, at least one endurance race, we did it differently and bunched up the Motegi Oval and then waited until the sun went down and went out on the road course. 2 races in the same night. We talked about Ryan getting 2 second places in the same day. 25 laps at the road course, the after party spectacular under the rising sun. It was awesome. That track is terrifying in the dark when you don't have headlights because most of the corners are not lit. For anybody who does not own Motegi,
They're lit just enough that you can see.
Not enough, especially for somebody that was dumb enough to run a black truck. Wonder who that would be.
I think I ran
Um,
a black truck too, didn't I? Or did I
I,
run the yellow one?
I
I don't
see,
remember.
I didn't see you, so I couldn't tell you what you ran.
I don't remember.
Michael Crawl, the megastar, by the way, Michael Crawl finally
Yes.
gets him one. He came in second at the Roval last year. Came in second at Auto Club. I mean, led 16 laps at Auto Club too. By the way, he's like I said, he has been on fire when he's not getting hit by somebody, and
Yeah.
it's such a. I hate it for him because I'm such a big fan of Michael Crawl. Such a great dude to sit in voice chat and just BS with. He's a great person to race around because you know he's not going to hit you. There's been a couple times where I've finally gotten to race around him this year, and there's a big old smile on my face, and I'm just sitting there turning my wheel, just going, "Don't hit 11, don't hit 11, don't hit 11." Um, Man, that was cool, and that was a cool way to end cap that race. I mean, he was so good, practiced so much, and I mean, he dominated the race, 21 laps led. Yeah, he
Yep.
pretty much he took when he got the lead, he threw up the peace sign and just motored away.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was running third. He was fourth. When Andy and Chad tangled and got pushed out wide. Like an idiot, I followed them into the grass. So, well, I mean, I was like 2 seconds back. It wasn't like I was right behind them.
Yeah,
I had more than enough time to react and go, "Oh, hey, they're in the grass." But no, I was just, we're in the grass too.
hey, let's go to the beach while we're at it. Um,
That was my first X of the entire season. I'm talking about feeling like an idiot.
yeah,
Uh,
I remember you coming across the radio and going, "Oh man, Andy and Chad are going at it," and then it's, "Oh, Andy put Chad wide," and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on
and then,
here?"
and then it's a, "Oh my God, I'm an idiot. I followed them." Yeah, when we did that, Crawl went by us. I wish I could have been in Crawl's mind to know what he's thinking when he watches the top three trucks all just sail into the grass.
Uh,
But yeah, he left us and he put up the deuces and said, "I'm out," and no one ever even got
and
close.
yeah, he just pulled away, and I even if that doesn't happen, I think he does the same thing. He's gonna get by all you guys. He had such good pace all week long in practice.
Oh, he was gonna get by me. It wouldn't another lap, maybe two
Yeah,
laps. It was
yeah.
coming, and I was gonna be fine with a fourth.
Um, Chad and Andy, you talked about them tangling. They both led 2 laps. I had quite an adventure that race. I don't like talking about myself very much, but I qualified last. I screwed up both my qualifying laps and drove up to 6th.
There you go.
It was fun. It was fun.
Again, you talk. I mean, we talk about the championship thing for me. It's same for you. You took a really bad day.
Yeah, yeah.
Got a P6 out of it. So
I
I mean,
was, oh man, I was so pissed off after the oval. I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna end up in the sand trap," and I didn't. And also, shout out to Jan. I got to do some fun racing with Jan. Um, Man, he's a road course guy too. And I mean, these trucks are not easy to get around road courses. As I think Michael Crawl called them, big dumb stock cars, is how he worded it. Big dumb heavy stock cars.
that
Um,
sounds like Michael Crawl.
he has such wonderful ways of wording things. But he finally gets a win, and I was so happy. I pretty much I had him pegged to pick up the win after the Roval last year. I was like, man, Michael Crawl at that road course next year, he's gonna be one to watch, and he made me look like a genius. That's all I'm gonna say. Thanks, Crawl. Appreciate
Thank you,
you.
Crawl.
Um,
Yeah, I remember at the Roval going to the Roval last year. I was thinking, boy, I might have a chance to win this race. And then watching, Andy, who I knew was also good. Yeah, he was fast. And then Crawl just left me in the dust. And
yeah,
I was like, oh, okay. That guy's good.
some good some good teamwork at the Roval. Jan takes out Kevin Biggs, and then almost takes out Andy. Jan's my guy. I love Jan too. And again, that's another guy. I'm so happy I've gotten to race door to door with him this year. Paul Ellison ends up in 7th. Garrett ends up 9th, and he's another guy that put in a ton of work that week. I know me and him spent a lot of time in practice sessions together, just turning laps. And
Yeah.
I can tell you this: I didn't run more than 4 laps in a row before the race. I just couldn't make it happen, but something clicked, I guess. And
I've done that before. Been at practices and race where everything struggles, and then the lights come on, and you're like, okay,
it all
and it
just
happens.
it all just makes sense. Then we went
Yeah.
to Texas, and Texas is, I would say Texas is becoming an iconic track in the league. It's one of those tracks that people want
It's
to
the
race
only
at.
race that's been in all 3 seasons.
And people like racing at. I love racing at Texas. I hated it the first couple times I turned laps. I hate watching races there because they were boring. But now Texas is one of my favorite tracks to drive, and it's one of those tracks where track conditions make such a huge difference on how you drive turn 1 and how you can get into it and how late you can get, back onto it. If that makes any sense. I don't think that did. I
It
think that
made
was just
sense in
all
my head.
gibberish. I think it was all gibberish. But it was also the return of your teammate, my team owner, Nathan Reynolds, and you two, the GOAT.
The GOAT.
We might get
The GOAT.
2-time champion right now. It's hard to argue. Nathan Reynolds, 26 slip sled. You leading 29, finishing second. You guys were nose to tail, right, for the most of it?
Yeah, we were nose to tail for the first, up through stop 1. Stop 2, he short pitted me by a lap. He says it wasn't planned. I think it was planned, which is fine. But he did what he had to do. He got in front of me, and then that gave him a little bit of a lead, and I kind of was able to close a little bit of a gap. But then there towards the end, he just took off, and I got some lap traffic and stuff, and I wasn't quite to him there at the end, but I'll take a P2 to him any day. Especially he had his grandmother on that truck who died of cancer, and this was a big race, stand up to cancer.
Yeah.
I mean, in that sense, if I'm going to lose anybody that race, my best friend that's driving that special truck to him, that's who I would pick to lose to.
Yeah, that was cool. Watching the end of that stream and him, he said he drove through the grass. This I almost called him a bad name, but he barely stuck a tire in the grass coming to the checkered flag, and you can see him, the emotion that came over him as he crossed the start finish line. That's cool stuff, and I mean that's the stuff that we talk about all the time. It's the stuff that makes racing so cool. I mean, it's the first time he'd raced with us in 5 weeks. He hadn't raced since Kentucky.
Yeah, 5 weeks.
And I know,
injury.
yeah, rehabbing a back injury, and he's a guy that, yeah, he's fast, but he's just such a good person to have out on the track. You learn a lot from him. I know I have. That's a big reason between him and Ryan. That's a big reason of why I think I've gotten better this year as a driver, being teamed up with those guys and all the information I get from them. So it was definitely cool to see him come back and win with that truck. And I mean, that's another team night. We talked about the team championship earlier on a 1-2 for RNS. That's huge. I finished 5th, so shout out Superkick Racing. Ooh.
There you go. 1-2-5.
A 1-2-5. I think Garrett got in trouble early. He ended. Oh yeah, Garrett. Garrett got in some trouble.
Garrett had some issues.
Finished 19th. Eric Breeding finished 16th.
Eric also had some issues.
Yeah, Carson pit 20 laps before anybody else, and he finished 4th. He was awesome. Jeremy McKinnon was awesome. He finished 3rd. Jan, again, another night where that was the night I got to race Jan a bunch. He ended up 6th. Chad Stearns, who's been having a great season, finishes 7th. Brantley Gainey, first career top 10, and he led 14 laps. I don't know how he did it, but I think he just stayed out longer than everybody else. But
yeah, I think he went on a different type of strategy. He was going to stay out. hoping for a yellow, I think, which is it's a good strategy. I'm terrified when it's my turn to pit. Like on that one, I was lap 35. We take 34, and I'm like, all right, I'm pitting this time. I was in my mind going, not today.
Yep.
I don't need somebody to wreck today. While I
There
do this.
there's been a lot of times where something like that's happened to you and Nathan, getting caught on pit road,
So many times.
trying to make a green flag pit stop, and somebody spins it going into pit road or something. Which there's been some of that this year, but it hasn't produced cautions. Which, I mean, I was one of those people, so I'm kind of glad it didn't.
Wait to
At
see how you're
times,
gonna word that.
yeah, I don't know. I just love racing. I love the green flag stuff, but I wouldn't mind a caution every once in a while. It's kind of starting to kill my races.
uh,
Just kidding. Only
I'm,
when I
I'm
end up
I'm
on my lid.
I'm good either way. Yellows, green flag. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll figure it out.
I'm happy. I think I'm not the best driver, but I can save a little bit of tire and go get people, and it makes it more fun. It definitely, oh my god, definitely presents a different challenge.
John
Don't know
forgot how
why
to
that was so hard.
your
Oh
face
my
as you tried to
god.
say it, your realization of going, oh, what did I just say?
Oh man, that's awful. That's why we turn on the face cam, even though it embarrasses the hell out of me. And then finally, race 9 of the year. Oh yeah, that was the Stand Up to Cancer 105 at Texas Motor Speedway. Forgot to say that. That was a big night. That was a big night for a lot of guys in the league. I know that was, I believe, Andy's brainchild,
Yep.
um,
Yep.
sponsoring the race that way. I know that's a very emotional night, as you said, Nathan having his grandma on the truck. I know Andy ran a special paint scheme. I believe Kyle Zittel ran a special paint scheme.
I think so. Yeah.
Um, I know personally, I've had family members pass away from cancer that, I never really got to know them, but they're definitely people I wish I would have had in my life. So it was a big week for a lot of people. We know cancer affects so many people, and
Too
it's
many people.
such an awful thing. Um, Wanted to, shout out the loved ones we've lost, and the ones that have beat it, that are tougher than nails. And it was a really, really cool event. I'm glad that it went rather smoothly.
Me too. It's a good race.
It was definitely a good race. And then this past Tuesday, if you missed it, go check it out on State Line Sim Racing or Car Inside. I
There
don't
might
know.
be others.
There's probably others. I know I streamed it on my Twitch. You
Flinky
don't.
usually streams, doesn't he?
Flinky, oh yeah, Flinky does stream it. We need to get Flinky on here one time for
We
the
do.
culture. And we will. But Bristol Motor Speedway, Dirt Edition. None of your beeswax on dirt, 80 laps. And Bristol has had a tendency of making stars out of people the other 2 times. It's one of the only other tracks besides Texas that has been gone to every season by Venom. There might be another one that I'm missing out on.
I think it's just those two.
I think it's just those two. Two very, very special tracks. So Ryan, we
Yep.
had the other side of it. What happened in season 1 at Bristol Dirt from your point of view?
Okay, so background going into it. I usually send my son to my grandparents on Mondays and Tuesdays. I work a terrible shift from like midnight to 8 a.m. I get little sleep during the week, and they take him those couple days to help me try to be able to sleep for a few days. This particular week, it didn't happen. Nobody could help, which is that's fine. It's not their job to do all that stuff, but so I ended up having to stay up all day. I had been up for at that point 30 some hours. And then we got to a race at Bristol, dirt that I knew from practice that I was very fast at, and that I was going to have a chance at, but I also was so sleep deprived that I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. I led, I don't know, the first 70% of the race. And then we had a yellow, and the track was starting to slick up, and I could see Nathan was getting bigger in my mirror. I I am a good dirt driver, but when it gets slick, I struggle. That's something I've tried to work on. But so we had that restart. Actually, had a couple restarts, and I held him off for a few times, and then he was able to get by me on the bottom in the slick when I couldn't go anywhere near the bottom. So yeah, I lost that race. Um, I was upset at just about everything, which I feel like was fueled by lack of sleep. Yeah, so we lost that race, and Nathan finished first. I finished second. So yes, that was looking back now, it was a good night for me. I'd had a really rough start to the season. My wheel quit working the day of the first ever race of our league's history. I raced 2 races on a controller. I got wrecked at Rockingham by Paul Ellison. Love you, Paul.
Sportsman of the year, by the way. Sportsman of the year,
He
Paul Ellison.
he didn't wreck me. He was in the wall, and I was following Brendan, and I was right up on him. And when he took off, by the time his truck moved, there was Paul. And
So you hit Paul.
I tried to hit my. I don't think I ever touched Paul. I tried to hit my brakes, and by the time when I did, it locked up and shot my truck to the right. I might have touched Paul. I'm not really sure. But anyway, in any case, I hit the wall hard and then shot left down into Chad Streeter. Took both of us out.
Oh no!
But I like to blame Paul because he was the one that was in the wall.
Blame. I'm taking Paul's side on this one. Paul's innocent.
I love Paul. But yeah, so just struggled the Darlington thing, the black flag coming off of pit road while you're in fifth. But that was kind of the race that helped me realize that maybe I can drive here. Maybe I'm better than what my season results are showing so far.
Yeah, and obviously at this point, I wasn't around for season 1, but I heard a lot about it. That's part of the reason why you are the two-time most popular driver. Easy to love you, hard to hate you. I mean, you're a guy that.
It's been a couple guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of, but there's a lot of reason to root for you, and being there for Dover last season was incredible. Like so many. Oh my God, Discord was gonna catch on fire after the race when you won and finally got your first win. That was such a cool moment. I got to be in the front for that one to watch it happen too. But yeah, I mean, really, your star was born on Bristol Dirt in season 1. I was a nobody, and then we went to Bristol in season 2, and I led 81 laps and almost won.
Yep.
It happens.
Something about Bristol, man.
Something about Bristol. A new star was born this year. I already knew. If you watch my YouTube, you already know. Although he hasn't performed too well on my YouTube. Brandon Vyers led 48 laps at Bristol. Most laps led. I mean, just that dude is crazy on dirt. I mean, he raced dirt in real life. I believe front wheel drive cars is what he said.
Little four bangers, front wheel drive.
Yep, and he is somebody that when I talked to Nathan about driving for Superkick, I thought he hated me. And then me and Nathan had concocted the plan of me going to Superkick, and we didn't tell Ryan.
Yeah, thanks.
And
I'm over here lobbying for weeks. I'm like, Nathan, you should really have to drive for you, dude. Like, bring him over our dip. Let's get this guy.
Yeah.
For weeks, and Nathan's like, I think he might have other plans, and I don't know. He hasn't really been receptive, and I'm still talking to him. And I'm like, yeah.
That's so funny. But I knew obviously that you were lobbying, but the guy that surprised me the most was Brandon Vyers. And Nathan's like, man, Vyers and Ryan are trying to get you over here so hard. And I was like, what do you mean Byers? Like, I thought he hated. I almost crashed him at Michigan. I thought he hated me. So I mean, have to credit him with my success. Me and him turn a lot of laps on dirt together because nobody else will. Nobody else likes dirt, and
You and those dumb midgets.
midgets are awesome to drive. But man, he led
I
48
love dirt.
laps. He led 48 laps. He had a chance to win it, but King sent it. That is
King send it.
King sent it. He sent the slider of the century. And it's gonna be playing right now. It's gonna be playing right now. He sent the slider of a century. And ended up in the wall after the restart racing Nathan. But I mean, he was fast at Bristol last year too. And if Nathan doesn't wreck 3/4 of the field, you know, we might be we might be talking about, you know, Brandon Vyers instead of, you know, I might not be sitting here. I might have got kicked out of the league. Who knows? But he sat on pole, or did Nathan get the pole in that Bristol race? I think he got it.
No, I got it.
No, season 2 on the
at Eldora.
Bristol. I think.
Regular. Yeah. He was on pole.
Yeah, Vyers got the pole there and led a bunch of laps too. So, not surprised. But then you put the two together on dirt, and I mean, he led over half of the race, and it was, you know, again, I talked about how much I love racing around Jan, I'm sorry. Jeremy, sorry. Brantley, Michael Crawl. A blur just walked by in your background.
Yep, that was my wife.
Oh. Hi, Ryan's wife. I caused a lot of chaos at the back. Ruined some people's races.
Did you really?
Yeah, it'll be here too. I don't know. I just got in the corner too good and then hit Jan. I'm sorry.
For the Brandon thing for a second, the send of the century, he sent it so hard.
He meatballed himself.
My man sent it so hard that when he hit the wall, when it wasn't going to stick, because it was never going to stick. When he hit the wall, he hit it so hard he bounced a lane and a half off of the wall. I didn't know that was even possible for a truck to bounce that way. I mean,
oh man.
Like there's sending it, and then there's that.
There's King sending it.
Yes.
And that's why he's the king of full send. Yeah, I don't think we could talk enough about how well he ran. He showed up late, missed qualifying, came from the back of his heat.
Settings were all wrong. He drove his heat on one monitor.
That's how my heat went. I couldn't see what the track looked like, and I was all over the place.
We were trying to coach you.
Yeah, I couldn't.
The track.
I was well, and that was what sucked, is I needed to see, because I needed to know where my aim point was. But yeah, how about RNS 4 top 10s? Nathan won it, Ryan in 4th, Eric Breeding in 7th, Garrett in 9th, Jan in 5th. I mean, Michael Dean in 2nd. Michael Dean finished 2nd on dirt. I didn't know Michael Dean could drive on dirt. Cole Maxwell at the friggin' top 10. Jeremy McKinnon, who I'm sure if he could set dirt on fire, he would. Like, everywhere. Even out in his driveway, he would just set all the dirt on fire because he hates it. He finished 11th. Your championship rival at this point, Andy Politsky, he found himself he ended up on a tire, or on the water barrels, sand barrels, whatever the hell they are. On top of them. On top of them. Man, poor Andy, dude. I mean, he's had a rough stretch here lately. That's really helped you pull away. I think you lead by 54 points right now.
Something like that.
Yep, 54 points. After Auto Club, when Andy won the race, it was 2. And since then, you have just pulled away. I mean, he finished 20th at Texas. What happened to him at Texas that led to 20th? Did he hit something?
No, No, he sped on pit road.
Oh, he sped on pit road twice.
And
Yeah,
then and
yeah.
then and then came in to serve his black flag and
And
then
sped
sped
again.
again.
Yep.
I've been there. I know what that
Yeah,
feels like.
that's like
It was
straight
wonderful.
dagger to the heart. I like Andy.
I do too.
There was a point in the offseason I didn't like Andy very much because he kept wrecking my teammates before they knew they were my teammates. Well, Garrett knew, but I was kind of worried. Andy's really good. Andy's really fast. Andy's another person I learn a lot from. Um, I was a little worried. I shouldn't say I didn't like him. I was a little worried in the offseason he was gonna try and take the King Send It from old Brandon Byers. But he had fourth on the road course at Motegi, but packet loss killed him on the oval, and he finished 21st. So I mean that's 2 races with 20th place finishes out of 3, and that's really after winning at Auto Club, and I mean you went from a 2-point lead to 54-point lead in a short amount of time. Three out of the last 4 have not been good for Mr. Politsky.
Yeah, I mean, I hate the packet loss. I've never had that happen, so I don't even know how I'd react. But for him to actually finish the race, which obviously only had the one yellow at the very end, so he wasn't able to really gain back much ground. I hate that for him. And then the road course, he obviously thought he was gonna to have a chance to win, and he did. He's one of the best 2 or 3 guys when it comes to a road course in this league. And I think he said that his settings on his wheel were wrong, so couldn't. I know from my wheel, if I even get in the car and my wheel is set to like a street stock setting or an F1, I know it immediately. So for him to go race a whole race on the wrong settings and still finish 4th shows you how good of a driver he is.
That's incredible. I only have one setting, and it's turn the wheel.
No, I have several. I have
Okay, well,
NASCAR, F1, street stock, dirt,
maybe that's where I'm going wrong. I just don't know what I'm doing.
American Trucking Simulator. I have an entire different setting just for that.
That game's awesome, by the way.
The game is all it's just so mundane, and I love it.
Oh man, but yeah, that's kind of the same situation Andy ran into last year too. Which again, it sucks because he's a dude that he's kind of like you. If he can put he could very easily be having a season very similar to you. And I mean, he was through the first 5 races.
Yeah.
You guys were neck and neck, and then obviously Bristol Dirt happened, and Texas happened, and Motegi Oval happened. But yeah, you can see how good he's been all season long. We were talking about it before the podcast. Your average finish on the season is 3.0.
3.0.
And his is 9 something.
I think it's like a 9.2.
Something
like that.
But I mean, 2 20th place finishes are going to do that. And
yeah,
again, it sucks.
One of them through no fault of his own. It's just a straight up iRacing computer issue. So.
And it's not something either of us want to see. I mean, I know as a racer, I want to race. I don't want to be handed something. And,
right.
I mean, you've still had to go out and execute on the track, but I'm sure you would much rather be racing Andy for it than have stuff happen to him.
I mean, the first race of the year at Milwaukee, it was he and I up front, and he won. It was a fun battle at the end. I tried to get to his bumper to see if I could maybe push him a little bit. I wasn't gonna wreck him, but yeah.
Just rattle his cage, right?
Right. I don't think we'd even go to rattling the cage. Maybe like, looking at the cage or something.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I've raced around Andy now for 3 seasons. It's always fun to race Andy. He's clean around me. I know everybody's gonna have mistakes and all that sort of stuff, but he's always been clean around me. It's just a blast to drive against him.
Yeah, he stole my jar of honey at Bristol. Sad about it.
Yeah,
still.
well, Nathan stole mine at Bristol Dirt this week, and which is okay because I probably would have given it to him anyways because I hate honey. So.
Oh, you could have shipped it up here. I'd have loved to have had the spoils of victory.
We're being real here. Jen would have taken the honey. She liked it. I hate bees, so I refuse
I'm
to eat anything that's made from bees.
I'm gonna have to order some. Unfortunately, I can't do it. Um, yeah, but Bristol Dirt was a lot of fun. I wish personally I hadn't screwed up like 6 people's races. Oh my god.
Only 6?
Oh, let me count here. 1, 2. I didn't really screw Jan's race up. He ended up in the top 5. I can't. Oh, McKinnon finished 11th, but I kind of screwed up his start, screwed up my own. So at least 4. Um, I was down on power like 78 laps.
I
Yeah.
feel that. At the end, I was also down on power.
Yeah,
I,
you. I've
I
never heard
limped that.
somebody. I've never heard somebody be in the points lead of something, get wrecked out of something, or not wrecked out of, but get wrecked and spun and hit the wall and go. Yeah, my race has been over for about 50 laps now, and we're still just chugging along.
That was it.
I Andy
Yeah.
was running up in that top 5 too before the whole barrel thing happened. I think that was him and Sam Dunaway. Who Sammy had a awesome start to the night. I wish he could have put it all together and finished it up. He was quick in his heat. I think he. Oh no, Flinky was in your heat. I think he was in heat too.
I think.
Eric passed
Eric,
him for the win.
yeah,
Heat
yeah, he
too.
was in Eric.
Yeah, he looked awesome in the heat, and I wish he could have put together a whole night. Also, shout out Kyle Dumig finishing 13th on dirt. Another guy that I see why him and Jeremy McKinnon made such great teammates, because they both just absolutely hate dirt.
I think he had a 2X, right?
I think so. Kyle was awesome. Man, again, that's another guy that he said all week, he's like, this is gonna suck, this is gonna suck, this is gonna suck, and he ends up with a 13th. That's pretty. It's really good.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it. I need to give more appreciation to that, and also once again, sorry, Michael Crawl. Yeah, my bad. kind of screwed that whole deal up. But
Yep.
we're just gonna make quick mention of it. That 51 truck won again. I was rooting for the 13 or the 15. I'm not salty that he ducked out on me on the podcast either. He was supposed to be my co-host. It was supposed to be the 3 of us. We were going to talk about all sorts of stuff, but he hates us. So.
Yeah. So, where we live, it's really cold today. It was 70 on Thursday. It was 11 last night.
Don't give him any excuses.
And on Monday it'll be 70 again. So,
yeah, it's snowing here right now, by the way.
I mean, there's still a little bit of snow on the ground. It's cold outside.
Yeah.
I mean, I would still be in shorts, but it's cold.
Yeah, I'm wearing pants too. It's weird.
Oh wow.
Don't give him any excuses. He ducked us.
I'm just happy you're wearing a shirt.
Something. Well, yeah, I gotta look presentable for the podcast. It's a cutoff. I made it myself.
I'm proud of you for making the cutoff.
Thank you. Man, that top 10 at Bristol Dirt's just awesome, by the way, to kind of get back on track. Nathan winning, yeah, whatever. That guy wins all the time. Wish that 13 truck wouldn't have sent it so hard, but as he told me after the race, and this is a direct quote, I can't preach it and not do it. Shout out Vyers. He was awesome. I wish he could have. Then he told me afterwards, he goes, yeah, I kind of regret it now. I kind of wish I'd have just not done that, tried to win. But he was quick. I think he was running the bottom, wasn't he? That's what I heard him talking about. He was running the bottom.
One of the only trucks on the bottom, and I was trying. I tried.
No, I just stayed up top. I needed everything I could get. As much wheel spin. I'll drink pop, rip top. Shout out.
Yep, on dirt for sure, yeah.
Yeah. I love Fago. Fago's what I run on my truck. So drink pop, rip top. Got to shout out the sponsor that doesn't actually sponsor me, and I'm sure would be not happy if they found out that some of the stories I spin. Cole Maxwell in 10th.
Another good run.
I think he got 0x. I don't think he hit anything.
It was either 0 or 2.
He was awesome. Garrett, as much as he talked about hating it, he ends up 9th. spun himself. Only spun himself out the one time. It just happened to be late. It helped me out. So.
But I mean, I think RNS had. So the 4 of RNS, we were all top 5. Or
All top 10.
top 9,
10.
right?
Yep. Because Eric finishes 7th. Paul Ellison finished 8th. Just a Paul Ellison race when he gets to. When he doesn't hit anything, he's always there. Always, like literally always there. I think he just snaps his finger and ends up there. Honestly, he just drives such a good race.
In season
1. Sportsman of the Year in season 2, probably going to win it in season 3 if I had to guess. There's not many. There's not many people out there better than Paul Ellison on the track.
I won't reveal my vote yet because I haven't cast it yet, but I know who I will vote for.
I do too. I know who you're going to vote for. 6th place. Hi. 5th place, Jan Van Leer. Nice to see the number 5 in 5th place. He ran a really good race too, outside of getting 2X. Ran over. Yeah, I wonder who gave him that.
I wonder who gave him that.
In 4th, we had Ryan Dye. Led 8 laps.
I the first 8.
Who spun you out?
No, I spun myself out.
Oh, you spun yourself out. See, it happens, kids. It happens. We do it. Oh, okay. Who got you the second time?
Garrett made a remark, and I needed to answer him. But the problem is when you're on Bristol dirt, you're like that. And I'm trying to click my button, and like I'm trying. Normally I would let my hands go and cross over or something, but you're trying to hold the button, and I spun myself out. And then I got back going, and when I got back going, I kind of came out in the spot where Sammy was, and he and I were battling there for a minute, and then Sammy got loose or something, and I got hit into the wall. And then a little bit later, Andy was like dead sideways in front of me, and I went to slow up to try to go above him, and I think my own teammate Eric Breeding was behind me, and he turned to me, and then I go a lap down, get the lucky dog on the competition caution, and then with like 5 or 6 to go, McKinnon got loose and right reared me and turned me, and I got hit by what felt like every single person in the entire series.
I didn't hit you.
You might have been. You and Brandon might have been the only 2.
That's because he was in the pits because he'd sent it already.
The end of the race, I was literally having to like shift into 3rd gear in the turns to keep it to keep it going with any kind of speed.
Keep it wicked up.
Yeah, and I was watching my temperature gauges because I was like, this is gonna blow.
It's gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up, but it didn't. And now we sit here going into the next race, which is another special one. You lead by 54 points. You lead by 61 over Carson. And then McKinnon's 72 back. And then it's Garrett, me, Michael Krall, Michael Dean, and Paul Ellison in the points. But we're all... Once you get past Jeremy, you get to Garrett and our group from 6th to 10th. It's no hope because we're like 90 points back. But basically, I would assume at this point, going into... this is quite the name of the
longest title of a race ever.
When we go to Darlington for the Young Reindeer's birthday extravaganza, sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings, aka the Throwback Race at Darlington. It's such a long title. I'm not excited because I turned laps at Darlington, and much like Motegi Road, I can't run more than 4 laps without hitting something. Shocker. Darlington, it's not even so much that it's slick, it's just I suck. Darlington, a track you like, I take it?
No.
Oh, no. You don't like Darlington, but you sponsored it.
Well, it happened to be the race that fell 3 days after my birthday, so.
That's fair. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. This is day 1 of 2.
32 years old. You got sang to at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, thanks, Nathan.
That's the most.
We go to Buffalo Wild Wings to eat, and they're like, "Are they going to sing to you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm 32 years old. I don't need that in my life."
And then you made the mistake of telling Nathan what you were wearing.
Yeah, somebody, because the tech game was last night, and they were like, "You were decked out in your tech stuff," and I went, "Actually, no. I'm wearing my Charlotte FC hoodie because my mom got it for me for my birthday. She was there eating with us, so I wore the hoodie she got me." Terrible mistake.
Oh
I
man.
told him what I was wearing, so he calls Buffalo Wild Wings and says, "Hey, big group, guy just ordered Asian zing wings. He's in a blue hoodie. It's his
Yep.
birthday."
Yep.
As soon as they started their little thing, I immediately, because everybody looked around, and I could see the confusion on like my parents' face. My mom was like, "I didn't do it," and like nobody was there. They, like legit look in their eyes of like, "Who did this?" And then I went, "Oh, I know who did this." I didn't know if it was
Oh,
Garrett or if it was or Nathan. I knew it, but I knew it was one of the two of them.
oh man. Really? You didn't think it was me?
No, I
Oh,
didn't think it was you.
that's definitely something I would do. That's awesome. But yeah, if you guys ever question if we're actually friends outside of iRacing, we are. Most of them, I'd say about all of us are. We all spend a lot of time in Discord together.
Yeah.
It's awesome. This group of guys is awesome. We talked about it earlier. It goes further than just the track. I mean, we take care of each other on the track, but the Discord's a wonderful place for all of us.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah,
think it's what sets this league apart from other leagues.
oh yeah, I love it. That the storytelling that goes into it.
Right,
I
and
mean,
it's nothing. I'm in other leagues, or I have been. I'm not right now, but um, that doesn't exist. People don't go out there and share their trucks and a story about why they're doing it, and whether it's made up or half true or fully true.
right.
Uh, it's all part of it, and that adds to the experience to me.
Does one story that's been written stand out to you? This is the last question I'll ask.
I don't. Your whole thing with the golf carts. That was like it wasn't one story. It was a saga of stories.
It's still going too. If you noticed,
Yeah, it's not really over. It
it'll
disappeared
never
for a while,
it'll.
and then we went back, and you decided to sponsor yourself by those said golf carts.
Yep.
That
Yep.
was Nathan going to jail after winning his title in season 1, so he could
That's a
not
good
race
one.
races. That was fun.
That's a good. Garrett going to jail after beating me up at Bristol with neck brace. That's a good one too.
Garrett, my story that I wrote when Garrett came over to RNS, that Nathan fired him. Nathan and I planned this. Nathan fired him from Superkick for getting arrested, and then I rode a jet ski from Virginia to Alabama.
That was a good
I
one
don't
too.
I don't even know if that's physically possible.
I'm sure it
Uh,
is. You just might be
but,
really tired.
but I rode a jet ski from Virginia to Alabama to sign Garrett out from under Nathan's nose and put him on the team that Nathan and I co-own. So
Yeah.
that was a fun. And I'm sure there's more that. As soon as we turn this off, I'll be like, man,
Yep.
that was a good one.
Michael Crawl. Michael Crawl's written some good ones.
Anything Michael Crawl writes is good.
He played into the whole Garrett getting arrested story really well because he spun a story I wrote into something completely different, but the direction it took was just amazing, and it led to Garrett beating me up over a fake doctor releasing me from a hospital. And who knows, if you follow our Facebook, what's the Facebook, Ryan? I don't know it.
Should be Venom Truck series.
Something. If you follow our Facebook page, maybe some of them will leak onto Facebook. Who knows? I'm not in charge of it.
I mean,
Nathan's
that's
Nathan's Nathan's afraid his mom might get confused, but I think we got this.
Yeah, go to Facebook and search Venom Truck series.
Venom Truck Series on Facebook. Give it a follow.
Yeah.
Follow along. Follow State Line Sim Racing on YouTube. That's this guy over here. Follow.
That's me.
I'm JK Gaming on YouTube. Oh, State Line Sim Racing on YouTube, not Facebook. I said Facebook.
Oh yeah, that's YouTube. I don't have Facebook.
Yeah, State Line Sim Racing on YouTube, JK Gaming on YouTube and Twitch. I think it's _ gaming on Twitch, but I don't care. It's
Whatever you do, do not follow Car Inside.
no. That guy, he's got too much
Actually,
clout as
if
is.
you are following him right now, I need you to go unsubscribe.
He's gonna hate us. He's gonna hate us. Darlington this week. Definitely make sure to check it out on somebody's channel. I'll be live streaming it on Twitch. That'll be in the description. He'll be live streaming it.
I don't live stream anymore.
Oh,
I record them and post them as soon as the race is over.
he'll
Though,
be
so.
recording it. Car Inside will be live streaming it.
Car, yeah, he's for some reason the last 6 months or let's see, the last 6-8 weeks when I go to stream something,
Your
it
internet
just
just says nah, fam.
throws my internet all over the place. I don't know what's changed.
It happens. And then I mean it's the end of the season basically. We're coming down to it. 4 races left. Darlington Tuesday, Talladega the week after. That could have huge points implications. Ryan's already shaking. And then
I'm
we have
terrified.
Wilkesboro and then Homestead to close it out. Don't miss
I love
anything.
Wilkesboro. I love
I,
Wilkesboro.
I love Homestead. I'm excited. I might actually
Homestead.
do something at Homestead.
I need redemption for Homestead in season
You can let
season
me.
1.
You can let me win. That would be okay too. I'm kidding. I'm
Hey,
kidding.
I mean, dude, if you're up there,
Yeah.
I will. If they with Talladega, I don't need to win Talladega. So if you or Garrett
I'm down. We should
or,
just colleague. We should just
or
colleague it at
Eric is up
Talladega.
there, I'll push one of you guys to win, just not
All
Nathan.
all 5 trucks take up the whole lane.
As long as
Anyways,
Nathan.
I think that's all we've got. I think we covered a lot. I think we covered the last 6 weeks. Thank you, Ryan, for taking time out of your morning. I'm sure there's other things you could have been doing right now, but I appreciate it. Much more than my co-host who didn't show up. Hater.
I mean,
He's a hater.
you live in cold temperatures. Surely you know the trick by now, right? If it's gonna be terribly
I
cold, you leave water running.
Yeah, I just don't let my house get cold.
I mean, there's that too, but
Yeah.
leave your water running, folks.
Something about
You don't have to leave it all the way on.
frozen pipes and needing to go talk to Jesus. I don't know.
That's one way.
That's one way to put it. I've been John K. He's been Ryan Dye. He still is Ryan Dye, and he will be for the rest of his life unless he changes his name.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Make sure to tune in next week. I have exciting ideas for next week already.
It won't be me.
It won't be Ryan, and it sure as heck won't be Nathan because he won't show up anyways. But make sure to tune in next week. We'll talk about Darlington in depth. Hopefully with 2 people that do really well at Darlington. I already have them picked out.
Oh,
so yeah, and
that's what we call in the business, ladies and gentlemen, a tease.
a tease, and you're gonna want to watch it because it's gonna be fantastic.
That's right.
Have a good night, Venom World. See you next week. Your fingers are all blurry. I couldn't even see them. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. That was fun.
Caesars.
Caesars. Well,
Caesars.